Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final game of the League Fest Pro-Am Tournament. Did anybody say Silver Scrapes? One more game to decide it all. There is a 98-point difference between these two teams, and the winner will go home with everything. The loser will have had a good weekend of games, some weird ones at that, but will not be taking anyway the money. So, gentlemen, I need to flip a coin here to decide which side of the riff we're starting on. It is going to be blind pick on Summoner's Rift, so I'm going to give my Scepter of Truth to you quickly, TheOddOne. Just hold that for me. That's heads, by the way, right? Queen's head. Tails, it was. Voyboy chose heads. So, TheOddOne, what side are you starting on?
Red side.
Red side for Team Arcade. Now, guys, this is the last game. Maybe the last time we get to chat to potentially one of you guys. So let's get some fighting words in before we start this one off. What kind of note do you want to leave your fans and your opponents on before we hit the rift?
Well, I don't know. If you've been watching the tournament, like, every game we lost, we just kind of, we just threw because we just wanted the games to be closer and to make the last final game just, like, really exciting and competitive. So, I mean, we're just gonna play seriously to the end, and, it's free win, baby.
Are you saying this is scripted?
I mean, we're scripting it. You guys did it.
Simple as that. All right, TheOddOne, any final words?
We're just going to crush them according to...
Oh.
I don't know, we're just going to stomp them.
All right, spicy. That's good for me, guys. Shake hands. We're going to get on towards the rift. We're just going to stomp them, apparently. We'll see if it's actually going to be the case now as well. It is time for our final game of the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a fantastic crowd so far. Let's make some noise for this last game, though. Let's get excited. It's going to be blind pick on the rift. It's going to be our two casters as for the whole weekend. Let's see if they've got voices left still. Scoundrel and Sona, take us in.
Yeah, don't know about you, Sona, but I'm starting to feel the cracks a little bit in my voice. This has been an absolutely ridiculous game, or ridiculous set of games of League of Legends today. Last game was fantastic. Obviously, we talk all we want about the Assassin game, but it was just an amazing performance. Obviously, Voyboy again going off on one of his best champions. Now, what I want to know, Sona, is we're going into the blind pick. What does this bring to the table? Do we think we're going to see just some crazy pocket picks, or do you think this just gives everyone to pick up that perfect meta composition?
It's the strength of the meta versus the strength of bringing something surprising to the mix. You've got Shen, who's incredibly powerful. You've got Gangplank. Nars still pretty strong at the moment. We've seen Larssen on that rise time and time again. Voyboy's Cassiopeia was incredibly strong in the first day. There's a lot of strong meta picks, but there's also a lot of surprise factor, especially I think in the bot lane is where we're going to see a little bit more inventiveness.
Absolutely, and also you go with this mind game. Blind picks are always a very interesting situation because either you try and mind game your opponent by picking a composition that's designed to counter the perfect meta composition, or you literally just play stuff that you know you're good at.
I think if they go meta, I have to give it to Team Arcade because Project, have lost all of the meta games over the weekend. They just haven't been
I can't argue with that statistic.
I
can't argue with that statistic, but I know that a lot of the factors, especially the first meta game that we had, Voyboy had the Cassiopeia, which was then eventually banned away from him every single time. So maybe you see him return to that. Maybe you see him go back onto that Cassiopeia. And we have, Project coming in and sweeping, almost a reverse sweep of a win here, potentially on the final day.
Well, I'm very glad it has come down to this final game. There's no other way I would like this to end. As Voyboy said, we're sticking to the script. And in just a couple of minutes, we will be into the lobby. Now, Scoundrel, we've seen blind picks for quite a long time in Korea.
Sure.
A lot of the time, it would be Shen's. Wow, we've actually just skipped through the whole draft phase. So let's have a look at this. In the top lane, it's going to be Dyrus on Gangplank versus Kevin on Gangplank. It's Rhuckz versus Rhuckz in the jungle.
I don't know if it's been locked yet. It hasn't been locked yet.
Has Akali. Oh, yeah, actually, it hasn't been locked. You're correct. Voyboy on Akali at the moment. Larssen hovering Teemo. Maplestreet has picked up the Sivir. And it looks like it might be double Karma support as well.
So Karma has been banned a lot during our draft phase games. We know that LemonNation is a fantastic Karma player too. Rhuckz actually hasn't had the opportunity to play much of it this weekend, so we haven't seen his prowess. This is looking like it's just that mid lane matchup that could end up basically...
Well, actually, Rhuckz hasn't locked in the Karma yet, so it's possible it's not going to be a Karma support. At the moment, it's looking like exactly identical compositions, which would be quite interesting. It could be down to that mid lane. I have to think if you're Larssen, you pick up Rise. Like, you've just been too strong
or
on
Vladimir. Rise or
Vladimir as well is very strong.
Yeah.
Larssen now hovering the Rise, of course. And Voyboy, thinking about where he wants to go, he did have a very strong game on Yasuo earlier in the day, but hasn't got that Gnar to facilitate him, hasn't got that Gragas to facilitate him, or the Alistar as well.
I really hope our camera guys just hover the faces when they get into the loading screens, so we can see everybody laugh at how identical
Larssen hasn't locked the rise yet, though. He's going for Victor as well. I don't think Voyboy... Yeah, Voyboy looks like he might be going towards the Cassio, and a Vlad coming out here from Larssen.
Wow.
That is a strong composition coming out from both sides. Last time Larssen and Voyboy matched up in this exact matchup, Larssen did get 100 CS advantage over that Cassiopeia, but lost the game in the end.
Yeah, Larssen had a fantastic performance on Vladimir, but Cassio in the end. The thing is that Cassio was designed to deal with a specific composition, which was this ability to engage with the Jhin and then follow it up. This isn't the kind of composition you're seeing here from Team Arcade. You know, the ability to try and chase up means is a little bit difficult. It's going to be a different style of engage that we'll be seeing in this situation.
I don't really see how you get an engage in this situation.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's all
Rhuckz,
on the
right?
Rhuckz.
It's literally just Rhuckz.
Or you try and on the hunt and just run towards the enemy team. It's the final game here of League Fest. It's day 3, guys. It's Team Project versus Team Arcade. Everything is on the line. We're into the blind pick and we're on to the Rift.
Absolutely, and I don't expect to see any crazy lane swaps coming out here. It's going to be a traditional lane matchup. This is all now down to skill, apart from potentially the mid lane matchup. So you're really seeing the test of these players at the very highest level. There are no excuses. They are mirror matchups. Who walks away? Because, you know, a solo kill, that is huge bragging rights at this point in time. A solo kill in top lane, for either of the top laners, you're like, well, you can't say it was a champion matchup because it was literally mirrored.
We've got mirrored builds as well coming out from both teams. The only difference, as you said, is in that mid lane, Doran's shield as opposed to Doran's ring sitting on towards the Voyboy. Now, throughout this tournament, I think Project have been the better 1v1 or 2v2. You know, Maplestreet and Rhuckz have done a great job in that bottom lane. On the first day, we did see Joekerism and LemonNation starting to win out trades on the second day. However, I think today they've been a little bit more powerful. As well, Dyrus playing into Kevin. Dyrus seems to have maybe met his match, but still able to eke out a little bit of an advantage in that 1v1 match.
I'd say in general, Dyrus has had the better 1v1s. Yeah. I would say the 2v2s have been, to be honest, 50-50 a lot of the time. In a 1v1 strictly, I would say Voyboy has taken advantage of Larssen on a strict basic 1v1 as well. So, you know, if it comes down to this, which it won't, because obviously Rhuckz will have a lot of impact for both sides. If it comes down to this, you know, Project could potentially walk away with the lead again. But, I mean, it's almost too difficult to call. You can't talk about compositional differences apart from the Cassiopeia and Castin, because Cassiopeia and Vladimir, rather, because that's the only differences we're seeing. So the only thing you can analyze in terms of composition is what impact are these guys going to have, and realistically, they're both going to perform a similar function.
I think the only function, really, that Cassio provides that Vlad does not is CC.
Is the CC,
Petrifying Gauge can be incredibly powerful if you land it on a couple of members of the Arcade lineup. There's hardly any crowd control on the rest of their team, and so they might struggle as they get later into the game for Arcade to actually continue on with the fight and not just get disengaged by the Karma, by the Sivir, by the Rhuckz as well.
Yeah, look, you saw Dyrus running away, even though he potentially had more HP. It's because he didn't want to engage with Kevin, and Kevin had that ignited blade. There was no way he was going to win out that trade. But you can see at the moment, Dyrus just seems to be pushing himself ahead in minor trades here. Kevin probably has picked up, well, he's picked up the barrels here, so hasn't picked up his cure
got level
scurvy.
2.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, so instead of going for the remove scurvy, he has gone for the barrels. Has a slight CS advantage, but those minions pushing in towards Dyrus turrets should equalize that. There's a slight farm advantage as well in the bottom lane on the side of the Arcade lineup. Dyrus will take a lot of pain from the barrels, and then ignited blade as well will start to burn away. He flashes in Thunderlords! Kevin in the 1v1 will take Burst Blood for Team Arcade.
Oh, that was a really tricky situation. Caëlan coming in here.
There's no flash available, and the flash will come down from Caëlan. He tries to remove Scurvy, but you can't remove Rhuckz as he gets taken off the Rift.
That was a really tough situation for Dyrus to be in. Actually, the push was so important for Kevin because it basically forced Dyrus to either step back from the minion wave using only actually TheOddOne in particular.
He's going to tunnel his way away. Caëlan shouldn't be able to chase him. Actually does get the tunnel, won't be able to land the knockup. Larssen's joined the fray. Voyboy has no mana here and has to use that ghost to get away. So his summoner burnt on the side of Voyboy. Sanguine Pool by Larssen. They're going to put the pain down onto Caëlan. There's the Tides of Blood as well. And Caëlan should fall. He's not going to be able to escape from Larssen here. And now Voyboy the target for Larssen. He has got that Ripper. Rhuckz has joined the fray from the bottom side. But Arcade should be able to get away, just securing that one kill.
Yeah, that was, again, Caëlan has had problems with this over the course of the menu. We can see a little
This is great
support
play
fight.
by LemonNation. It's going to exhaust Rhuckz as well. They caught him out. Larssen flashes in for the kill. Getting that blind ahead is actually quite vital here because you want him to be able to play into the Cassio matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. He's now 2 kills up as well. Yeah, I think, again, we've seen this sometimes from Caëlan. He does have the tendency to be over-aggressive in situations which don't exactly warrant it. And the mana on Voyboy was the real issue there. Didn't have the mana to actually force that fight. If he had, that would have been potentially an easy turnaround and win for Project, but just wasn't the case. No way Voyboy could match up because he just had no mana to use any of his abilities. So yeah, I mean, looks like Arcade having the easy start here for this basically almost mirror matchup in the blind pick of the final game. Remember, winner takes home everything at the end of this game. So all of these mistakes, all of these tiny decision-making processes, that could be the difference between 10,000 and 5,000 pounds.
And it's so difficult to get back into a matchup when you fall behind when you're in this mirror matchup, because the other team is always going to hit those spikes first, it's always going to be able to get to those items first, it's always going to have that level advantage on you because you're losing out in the 1v1s or the 2v2s. Dyrus will put the barrels down, try and put the pressure down onto Kevin, but Kevin's already got his Sheen, and although he's behind on farm, is able to push Dyrus back towards that turret.
Yeah, Larssen with that red buff means that Caëlan has absolutely no way to find a reliable engage. Going to be warded up, taking away that final Razorbeak. And actually in the bot lane again, LemonNation and Joekerism seem to be getting the better of things.
Big CS advantage for them, about 11 CS up. I mean, it's going to be equalized ever so slightly here, but it's still going to be 8 or so in favor of Joekerism and LemonNation. And a lot of that comes down to, of course, Rhuckz dying out. It means that Joekerism can step forward, keep Maplestreet away from those minions. And LemonNation and Joekerism having the advantage in the bottom lane, going to try and push this wave out, and then probably back away, and we'll see what items they decide to go for first.
You're already starting to see a small gold advantage open up because of those CS differences and also the kills. It's around 1.5k, about 5 minutes into the game. It's not a bad start for Arcade whatsoever. And you're seeing, actually, we talked about the 1v1s we were expecting to be in favor of Project. Right now, Arcade just really barreling forwards. Speaking of barrels, though, there is a big CS advantage for Dyrus, which is odd, given how this lane went.
A lot of that actually comes to the Caëlan gank, because Caëlan was able to kill Kevin when there was a cannon minion wave there. Dyrus teleported in, was able to freeze that wave, keep Kevin away from his minions, and it meant that he was able to build up the CS advantage.
Absolutely. It was just the way that... Actually, the wave was pushing towards Kevin, but actually I think Dyrus managed to push it onto the turret, which meant that Kevin wasn't able to get there in time. Caëlan, maybe...
Notices eventually there's a Rek'Sai powered next to him.
And actually, TheOddOne's managed to pick up a decent level advantage over Caëlan here with just that 1 level and extra 6 CS. How influential that will be, you don't know, but TheOddOne has been very, very good at finding counter-jungling when he can.
Caëlan just picked up that Tiamat. We've already seen it on TheOddOne. They're looking for the gank on towards Dyrus, who does have his flash, and the remove Scurvy as well. There's a ward there, so Rek'Sai will be spotted out as he roams up towards his own Rhuckz. Now, it's a very even game, although the gold advantage, as you say, is still in favor of Arcade. It's a bit of CS in that bottom lane, and of course those couple of kills that they have to their advantage.
This is it's such a difficult game to call or even analyze when you're looking at lane. It's all about the very micro decisions that people are making, as well as, you know, potential build paths. Already the Sheen up there on Kevin, that could prove pretty influential. It looks like Dyrus has picked up specifically the longsword just to aid his farming under the turret. But the Sheen means that Kevin in general just win out trades, and Dyrus knows that he can't actually go toe-to-toe with him in lane right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to back away. He probably has enough for Sheen and for Phage, or just enough for the Ruby Crystal there, so not quite able to complete his Phage. He's gone for Boots as well to try and get himself back towards that lane a little bit quicker. Bot lane still in favor of the Arcade lineup. Joekerism sitting on about 13 CS extra, has that BF sword as well, and a Sightstone completed onto LemonNation before there is one on Rhuckz. Vision control will be vital, especially when you're looking at these Rek'Sai ganks.
Absolutely, and that I think vision control in general in this game will be one of the major keys to success for both of these teams. Because when you have, you know, compositional differences that are so minor, it's going to be about the other decisions in games that become so important to your victory, and vision control will be one of them. You know, you have the ability to make picks with Rek'Sai, with Karma, and in essence with Voyboy as well. He can have influential picks with that ultimate. So realistically, it's all about whether you can control vision, you can make picks and capitalize on them. And I think that'll be a big part of the strategy for both sides.
And you can see that Project know that. They've got 2 pink wards down towards that bottom side of the mid lane. They're just trying to deny any vision from Larssen, from TheOddOne. Means that Caëlan can try and sneak in for the ganks, try and get himself a around behind that Vladimir, who is now starting to scale up. He's got his Spectre's Cowl, he's building up towards that Spirit Visage, he's got his cooldown boots. It's going to be very difficult for that Cassio to win in a 1v1 matchup.
Especially with only a tier to her name, you know, and you're going up against the Spirit Visage, where you deal kind of poke damage where you have to commit to have it to transfer to sustain, and that's obviously going to play into Spirit Visage, or rather just the Spectre's Cowl, which allows you to regenerate some health after taking some damage. So I think in a 1v1 scenario now, Voyboy versus Larssen, you're not going to see a solo kill unless someone is making a pretty big mistake. It's all going to be the influence of Caëlan and TheOddOne as well, who actually have been matching each other almost blow for blow.
Maplestreet's not in good position here. He hasn't just hit that level 60. He's also come down in the cannon barrage, counter barrage on towards Joekerism, but the first blood will go down towards Joekerism. Now Rhuckz is in an awful spot as Joekerism tries to step forward. Will take a turret shot for his once, and now TheOddOne will see Caëlan off towards the side. Arcade able to pick up a kill there and able to get away from the project line.
Well, actually, it looks like Voyboy's come down.
Coming in as well. Voyboy is there now. LemonNation will get caught out. TheOddOne will knock him up. LemonNation surviving. Joekerism should fall to Caëlan. TheOddOne actually takes down Voyboy, and now Larssen joins the fray. Joekerism still alive. Caëlan not able to take down that Sivir, and Joekerism will survive. Arcade collapsed beautifully. TheOddOne will chase onto Dyrus, who has to flash away and will be able to survive for another day. They managed to pick up 4 kills in exchange for just the 1.
Well, I think all of that was just going in favor of Arcade from the very get-go because of that small engage in the 2v2. Maplestreet actually tried to flash out the Karmabind, but that was the big issue for him. He didn't flash out the Karmabind. Kevin very nicely overlaid his ultimate. The ultimate from Dyrus was maybe a little bit later than it should have been.
Larsen's going for this. Tries to get the Hemoplate down, but the Spell Shield actually blocks it out there for Maplestreet. Really nicely done by him to not fall to that 3-man tower dive.
Yeah, absolutely, and saves the tower too. Actually, it was really good reaction from everybody. Larssen immediately reacted to the Voyboy roam, and actually the late teleport from Kevin came through. I've got to give credit to TheOddOne here, having a massive impact for his jungle, you know, for his side of the jungle right now. Ability to just take Voyboy off the map twice now that he's managed to do, or be influential in doing that. So very, very good play from TheOddOne. Actually, I would say outperforming Caëlan, because Caëlan looks like he's really almost jittery, you know, really making these very aggressive plays when essentially should be taking a step back at this point.
I think this Cassio pick has a lot of impact as we get later into the game. Now, he's building towards a Rhylize here, and the big thing about that is that he's just able to disengage these fights so effectively.
Now, this is what I was literally about to move on to, is that the only influence I would say in terms of compositional difference is that because there isn't any reliable hard engage, or rather not that reliable hard engage, you're relying on Sivir, you're relying on TheOddOne, it's all movement speed, and with the Rhylize and Cassio, you do slow people, you do, obviously, as well as that Miasma, which has huge area impact. You know, you could throw Miasma down on an advancing Sivir team, and they all have to run through it, and that would negate the impact of the Sivir ultimate. So again, you could see Voyboy basically ward off any engage, and then eventually basically chase them down like he did in the first day. We saw it against Arcade in the first day, and they eventually managed to come back doing it.
Now, Kevin needs to be careful. Cannon Barrage comes out. He will flash away from it because Caëlan was there to try and take him down. Kevin survives. He's still behind in CS though, so we're actually probably going to see Dyrus pick up his Trinity Force first. This turret incredibly low in the bottom lane will probably be the first turret to fall.
Yeah, because TheOddOne's coming down as well. So.
Arcade are going to be able to push themselves about 3,000 gold in the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. The first brick, as you say, the first brick gold going over to Arcade. I've given a nice healthy lead at this point in time. And I think playing around item spikes, especially in like identical compositions, is going to be super important here for both Arcade and Project. Cloud Drake actually quite influential with the Sivir ultimate here, so not a bad pickup. Rhuckz tries to go for the steal.
That was actually really, really close. TheOddOne is able to smite it away though. And we'll take the Cloud Drake for Team Arcade. Project on the back foot here, trying to work out how they get back into this game when it's a mirror matchup.
Again, I think you've got to realize at this point in time that you shouldn't be looking to fight or skirmish because bigger item spikes are being reached before you can actually get them yourselves. And again, like I said, item spikes are so important in mirror matchups. You know, the first item on first tier 3 item on an AD carry is mega. The fact that we've seen Triforce for Kevin, but also Triforce for Dyrus as well, who actually somehow has actually gone further ahead in CS, by the way.
30 CS
30 CS advantage over Kevin. So, despite Kevin being 2 kills up, Dyrus actually still has a slight lead, which is interesting.
It's just a well played by Dyrus, really. He's using that advantage. 1v1 in the top lane is a little bit of an island. He's able just to clear out the wave with 1 powder keg now if it crits. So pretty powerful from him. He's going to try and force Kevin back. Kevin does put down a barrel to try and ward off Dyrus.
The problem with this this matchup now is that it literally will come down to crits.
Yeah.
You know, if you're the Gangplank that basically crits 3 times in a row and you're going up against the Gangplank that doesn't, you're just going to win. So going into full-on 1v1 is like almost rolling a dice at this point in time. This is probably why both Kevin and Dyrus are likely wanting to avoid it for the most part without jungle help.
But it looks like Joekerism is actually going to come up towards the top lane. They're going to bring across LemonNation as well to see if they can put these team members up here. However, Dyrus and Caëlan are waiting for him. He'll use the spell shield. He'll get away with you on the hunt as well. He needs LemonNation here for that Inspire, but he'll get splashed on by Caëlan. Dyrus will be able to pick up the kill. Actually goes across towards the support. Rhuckz securing that one for the team. Now Voyboy fighting up against
Well, he's got that Rhyalize.
Yeah, he's got the Rhyalize, he's got the slow, and he's got the rest of his team joining the fray. There's the Hemoplague, Petrifying Gaze on towards Larssen. He has no escape from this apart from the Sanguine Pool, and he's going to try and heal himself up. There's the Cannon Barrage, they're going to turn it round. Caitlin's going to go low, will get locked down inside that Cannon Barrage as well, and will get taken out by his fellow support. Now,
Maplestreet
is going to be able to start popping off. He takes down
here comes Dyrus.
Here comes Dyrus on towards Larssen, and Larssen's going to go down as well. It's a double kill for Maplestreet, and Project turning it around.
Oh, that was all because of a nice, patient setup there in the top lane, taking out Joekerism. Popsy on the hunt as well, so there's no way for the rest of his team to make use of that ultimate, and it was just a nice collapse. Rhuckz actually, I think, going to go
awful position will fall to Kevin as LemonNation locks him down. Now, Voyboy very low on mana here. He's going to try and turn onto LemonNation. He flashes in, does get the kill with the twin fangs. Kevin's looking for the chase on towards Maplestreet. There is the Void Rush coming in. I'm not sure which one that is. I assume it's TheOddOne. There he comes, as he will join the fray. Maplestreet able to get away. Kevin does take down Voyboy.
Yeah, Maplestreet held on to that spell shield, but actually Joekerism used the Boomerang Blade after the spell shield was procced. If he'd just been slightly more patient, he may have been able to get to the snipe on Maplestreet there, but actually it has given them cause to go for this mid lane tier 1, and this is something that Arcade has continuously been better at than Project. It's getting early pressure on objectives, and I can't help that's kind of facilitated by TheOddOne. It's something that he was very good at when he was on TSM, really pushing them to take early objectives.
Kevin picked up a couple of kills there again, so he's 4-1 on this Gangplank. Did teleport up to try and stop Dyrus taking the turret, which he did well, and it means that the gold advantage is spreading further for Team Arcade. It's about 3,500 for them now, and you have to think those Silver Serpents are starting to stack up on Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think actually on Dyrus too, to be honest. Even then, that could be an influential factor in this game as well. Who gets the first Gangplank upgrade? Who gets Death's Daughter first?
Do you take Death's Daughter?
What would you want to consider?
Probably Death's Daughter, in all honesty. It's the most powerful one. It's the one with the strongest area control as well.
I actually maybe there's cause for the movement speed one for Arcade because of the Cassiopeia with Rhyalize, but honestly I just think Death's Daughter in every case is probably just best as a first choice. Especially since burst damage in this type of game can be so effective. If you're able to burst someone out, you know, with a LemonNation powered Q and also the Death's Daughter and whatever else you've got to offer, then if you take at least just one member off, then you're walking into an almost one team fight regarding, you know, taking outplays out of the picture, taking any mistakes out of the picture. You know, taking just one member out can be so influential in this type of game.
That it can, and the only real burst damage is coming from those Gangplanks in the top lane with the barrels, you know? Yeah. You've got Vladimir, who does sustained damage to a fight. You've got Cassio, who's all about that sustained damage, and then Sivir, known for using the Ricochet as her main damage source, means that she's not going to have that burst damage in the fight. They're going to try and slow Kevin in the top lane. Caëlan went off towards the side. Will get spotted out by those minions. They won't be able to do much. It does look like Joekerism and the rest of the Arcade crew are heading up towards top lane to see if they can take that tower. In fact, LemonNation and TheOddOne are behind it, and Caëlan and Dyrus do have to back away because they can't fight in a 2v4.
Again, I just feel like this has been far better for
Arcade. LemonNation, that was bad pathing. Just went underneath the turret. There weren't any minions there. Had to flash away from Caëlan, who was already burrowed. That was just awful pathing from LemonNation. Yeah,
but I think they were expecting maybe to have pushed further onto the turret there, but also I don't think they were expecting them to be so aggressive given the man advantage that they expected to have. I think they expected to have such a man advantage that it would have forced Project back, so LemonNation had committed. But they actually saw the aggressive play and were like, oh, actually, maybe they've got more people because we don't have vision of everybody from Project, so we don't want to take that risk. So it was like more like a better safe than sorry flash.
Yeah, but he could have just gone around.
No, I do agree, but I'm kind of giving the theory behind why maybe he went for that flash.
Well, Dragon is up in about 20 seconds. Haven't quite seen which one is going to spawn just quite yet, but we'll see if it is a big point of contention for these teams. Of course, we've had a Cloud Drake call already. Let's see which is the next dragon to go down. It looks like OddOne's setting up around it, so going to see if they can get the vision control and the area control there. And the blue buff is spawned as well. Assume that's going to be given across towards Larssen, just for that extra cooldown reduction.
So, looks like Project have found their way back into this ever so slightly. Obviously, it's still a pretty decent gold advantage, but we need to have a look at the item spike zone because Joekerism is miles ahead, I would say, of Maplestreet right now, and that could be pretty influential, and it might be why Project aren't choosing to fight. It's a double Cloud Drake too, which is
really powerful.
Very powerful, and doesn't get stolen again. OddOne's smite is true.
Unlike in the last game where, the first game we saw today, where we did see actually Caëlan out-smiting OddOne, being able to steal away that Baron.
Also, the use of the ultimates from Rhuckz can be incredibly powerful in this game. Your ability to clear waves. You can see here that what you generally see from Arcade is they all consolidate and collapse onto a turret, and their ability to clear is dictated by OddOne going and clearing the wave himself or saving Kevin's ultimate to clear waves. And because Project aren't in a position to try and force a skirmish or a team fight, the use of these ultimates to clear waves isn't being punished.
Voyboy takes a little bit of pain from Kevin there, and actually this is going to be an interesting matchup because if they're using Cassio as one of the main split pushers and try to deal with the split push of Kevin, the question is, can Kevin actually 1v1 that Snake?
Potentially, obviously, it really depends on, I think, really who can get the movement speed first, or the movement speed slow first. Obviously, pure Scurvy could be really important when using the Petrifying Gaze, so... Let's see. I mean, I don't think Voyboy's going to want to risk going into a Gangplank just because she's moderately squishy on the Cassiopeia, so, you know, one crit could completely ruin your ability to trade in a 1v1 scenario. I think more you're using Voyboy as someone who's basically going to push the waves just as hard as Gangplank is.
And it looks like Arcade are going for this top tier turret. There is the Cannon Barrage coming out from Dyrus just to try and slow up this Arcade advance. They do have LemonNation around the corner alongside that Vladimir Larssen, waiting to see if there's anything they can do. However, no minion wave really here for Arcade, and Caëlan is waiting in the wings to see if he can get a gank up.
Yeah, but also OddOne there to provide support for Joekerism. So the aggressive moves by Joekerism
Ward over the wall by LemonNation will spot out Caëlan. Dyrus doing a great job of clearing out these waves, and this is allowing time for Voyboy in that bottom lane to try and get some farm on himself. Larssen isn't able to put too much pressure in the mid lane, but he's looking towards the top. Will get scouted out by that Wolf Spirit, and Dyrus has to retreat straight away. Caëlan there as well. Arcade should be able to take the tower off this push.
And you can see Project don't respond by trying to take mid lane turret, they respond trying to react. This reactionary play is just losing them objectives, and they aren't able to respond, and usually don't
actually, there's no minions quite yet there, and Arcade are now having to look for the fight. Larssen will go in, Cannon Barrage comes down, Maplestreet is low, Larssen's going to look to see if he can pick anyone up. They do just back away, they've taken the turret down. Kevin's still in the bottom lane pushing out as well, so as long as Project can't chase this, it looks like Arcade get away scot-free.
This is what I mean though, Sona, you know, Project are looking to react when really they could have used the opportunity to move and take tier 1 turret in the mid lane, because all of Arcade were up in the top lane, and obviously Kevin would have then been forced to use his ultimate to clear the mid lane wave, and they would have been able to get their own tier 1 here.
Kevin's going to go for it. I mean, Caëlan is here now, and Dyrus there as well. I don't really think there's an escape here, but Kevin tries to flash away, but the Cannon Barrage will fall, and Kevin actually gets a little bit of movement speed, uses the remove Scurvy. There's the barrel as well. If he can proc it, he'll get some more speed, but actually Caëlan cancels out. Now OddOne has joined the fray, and here comes LemonNation as well. All the teams collapsing towards this bottom side. Now Kevin will put the pain down, but LemonNation has to retreat away from Caëlan. That Vex side doing a huge amount of work. The OddOne able to fight off Dyrus, and Project are not able to get anything out of that fight.
Map movements from Arcades have just been so much better than Project right now. They're just out-rotating them at every situation, even when Project are looking to be proactive, and I feel like they're looking to be proactive for the wrong reasons. They're looking to take kills, or they're looking to take off basically a kill because of what the situation was there. Essentially, Kevin had already taken the turret, he was committing. They were like, oh, we better react to this. We better go down and try and take the kill here. Instead of saying, okay, Kevin's going ham on that bot lane tier 2, we might not get the kill. Why don't we all go jump mid lane and push it? He's used his ultimate recently. Why don't we go top lane and push that out?
This is something we've seen time after time from Project, actually. They're relatively even in the early game, but because they haven't taken any turrets, they're about 4,000 gold behind. Yet to have a tower fall in favor of Project.
And when it comes to making a push, Arcade are already there and ready. They're reading these map movements incredibly well, in part due to LemonNation's ability to control vision as well. LemonNation's so good at just planning out the map movements of Project, and Larssen jumping in there, unable to get anything more than a slight bit of poke onto Rhuckz. But I'm worried for Project. I genuinely think Arcade are in an
On the
incredibly
hunt,
strong.
pop. They're going to try and get onto Voyboy. OddOne was stunned up. A double barrel comes out from Dyrus, and Project are
OddOne.
going to be able to get away from this one. OddOne falls low, should be able to retreat his way away. He does have that Void Rush available as well if he wants to join the fray once again.
So tense in these small fights. It was a fight over the red buff there as well, but Voyboy needs to have more impact with his ultimate if there's any chance of Project running away with this. You know, Voyboy needs to be able to turn around, get a 3 or 4 man petrifying gaze, which again then gives Dyrus time to set up the barrels nicely, Voyboy to get a lot of AoE damage down, you know, then they can turn on the counter engage. But that's the important point. It's all about the counter engage here for Project. I don't think they have what it takes to make a forward-facing, proactive engage.
Good vision control once again from Arcade. I feel I've said that 100 times this weekend. They always seem to know where Project want to go before even Project do themselves. 40 seconds left on the Dragon once again. I haven't quite seen what it is coming up. If it's another Cloud Drake, it's going to be even more beneficial for Arcade. Of course, Infernal is what we all want to wait and see, because then we know these teams will have to have a fight to the death.
What's really important about Cloud Drake, and something that I think we should consider, is that it gives Larssen the mobility that he needs, and also gives Kevin the mobility he needs. Obviously, the main form of CC, apart from Voyboy's ultimate, is going to be Caëlan looking for a knockup. You know, if you have that extra movement speed, you just might have the edge to just edge away from that knockup.
1v1. Gangplank v Gangplank. Dyrus does take a bit of pain. Both of them put down a barrel. It's just like barrel deception. Who's belong to whom, we don't know. Arcade will back away. It's an Ocean Drake that has spawned. Larssen started it up, but Arcade not quite going to do it yet. They do have good vision control around it once again. I expect Kevin to push out that bottom lane, and then perhaps they'll look to see if they can take that Ocean Drake off the map.
Yeah, and you can see, again, there's already a game plan here for Arcade. They always have someone pushing. They always have good wave control in the top and bot lane, which allows then the pressure to be built up on the Project, that allows them to basically go for these global objectives. You don't see this from Project. You don't see someone setting the wave up so that they couldn't apply pressure to these tier 1s. They're always trying to push back from the good setups from Arcade. You always see them kind of dilly-dallying in the jungle, not quite sure where to apply pressure. I guess maybe the game plan in their mind is that we wait for them to engage on us, so we can't be proactive. We are a reactionary team, so...
Oh, quite possibly. We saw yesterday in the morning when Voyboy was actually, day 1 in the morning when Voyboy was on this Cassiopeia. It took him a long time to start getting into the game, and Cassio does take a long time to scale up. He's got his Rylai's, he's got his Morellonomicon, but he's not at that point where you'd say Cassio is a 1v5 carry yet, and it seems to be that Project are waiting for him to get to that stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think once he gets the Archangel stuff, you know, he'll be in a good position. But obviously, you need 3 or 4 items in Cassio before you can really start to do huge amounts of damage, especially when chasing people down. Right now, I think he'd be good at disengaging, good at trying to keep away Arcade when they're looking for the engagement with Sivir, but other than that, I think right now the damage is all with Arcade.
So we're starting to see our first differences in itemization. Dyrus has gone towards a Last Whisper, whereas we see what appears to be a BF Sword and a Serrated Dirk coming out from Kevin.
That interests me.
So I think BF Sword is probably going towards an Infinity Edge.
Yes.
That's what you'd usually build. I'm not quite sure about the Serrated Dirk on top of that.
Oh, it might be the Duskblade.
Oh yes, Kevin does love his Duskblade.
Kevin does like the Duskblade.
Alongside that, actually, in the AD carry role, we've got Essence Reaver, Phantom Dancer finished on the side of Joekerism, along with that BF Sword building towards an Infinity Edge. However, it's Essence, Phantom, and an Executioner's Calling coming out from Maplestreet.
Really good against the Vladimir, but the damage is just going to be there for Joekerism compared. I'm not sold on the Last Whisper right now because you're not really facing that much armor. There isn't really that much armor on anybody at this point in time, apart from maybe the Seek's Guard, but Caëlan's
going to get taken quite low. They're fighting over the blue buff. Don't want to have Voyboy picking that one up. OddOne jumps in. Voyboy is the one who's caught out. Does still have that ultimate available. TP's coming in. Cannon Barrage is used as well, but Voyboy has no place to go. He will fall, and Arcade look to see if they can get anything more out of this fight. The Project will have to back away. There's 5 members of Arcade looking towards that blue buff. Dyrus steps forward, does get the barreled up, but not able to connect onto all members of Arcade.
So Voyboy down, that's a crucial member, and I really feel like in these team fights, you take out the mid laner first.
This is great.
It's brave, but it's going down so quickly, and there isn't the people there. Voyboy's not alive. They don't have the area
but you've
control.
got Dyrus, you've got those barrels, you've got Caëlan coming in for the smite as well. LemonNation jumps forward, Larssen there as well. They've gone off the Baron. They're looking for the fight.
This could be
up
it.
towards the top side. Here comes the fight coming out from Arcade. They're going to collapse on towards Caëlan, off towards the top. They don't really get much out of this, and Dyrus wants to re-engage.
No, he missed it.
Rotobell comes in. They will see that LemonNation not falling, Rhuckz falling. Too many karmas in the game. Dyrus didn't get the barrel connection, and they will
so
back away,
crucial.
but they do delay the Baron.
Yeah, they delay the Baron, but it's so crucial that Dyrus didn't get that barrel connection. Could have been a swing turnaround for Project, but right now Arcade again applying so much pressure in these skirmishes and team fights.
This is so intensely close. Like, you can see Project are on the back foot. You can see they need Arcade to make a mistake. But Arcade are not fighting these fights perfectly. I've yet to see a good 4-man Hemoplague. I've yet to see a knock-up that hits onto a couple of people. Yes, they're taking out Voyboy.
They have more room. They have more room for error.
Yes.
They have way more room for error just because of the way that they've built. You know, they've just got more flat damage, so you can spend less time actually landing the skills than you need to. But you may actually have a similar damage output to that of Project. And you can also see the difference between the gold and the AD carries. You know, Joekerism will be outputting way more damage right now compared to Maplestreet. I mean, the guy is just, you know, we know him as a severe god, but he's just going to be doing blow for blow far more than Maplestreet. You know, I would say even Maplestreet probably is shy of 75% of the damage output of Joekerism right now. So they have more room for error in these skirmishes and team fights, whereas, you know, as Project right now, you have to play perfectly. You have to get a multiple-man ultimate, and Kevin gets the 1v1 as well.
In the bottom lane, Kevin with that Duskblade working out well for him in that 1v1 matchup.
It's a great 1v1 tool.
It is a superb 1v1 tool. We can see Kevin still sitting on 2/3, 3/4 HP, and they're going to look towards the Baron once again. I mean, Siva's not there just quite yet. It looks like they're just trying to deny vision away.
It's Baron or Inhibitor. It's Baron or Inhibitor.
Kevin is still down in that bottom lane. They have no way of stopping him going for that Inhibitor. It looks like Voyboy's going to back away. However, the Inhibitor might even fall before they get there. Do they just let Kevin continue to push into their base, or do they go for the Baron? It looks like Caëlan has been left to try and get the steal. He's done it once today. Can he do it once again? The Inhibitor falls in the bot lane. Voyboy there to stopping Caëlan. Seeing if he can get him from the side. This Baron's low. It's down to 1,000 HP. Here comes the Rhuckz. He
gets it again!
Steals it away and flashes away as well. Caëlan has kept Project in the game.
Oh, it's not the first time as well. It's all been about Caëlan today and his ability to make these steals. It was a blind steal as well, Sona, just judging the damage coming out from Arcade. Now it's Larssen, 1 versus 2. Maplestreet takes a lot of damage.
Cannon Barrage is going to take Maplestreet incredibly low. He's going to try and get away with that Inspire as well. Larssen will chase down Rhuckz, and it looks like Rhuckz might be the sacrifice here for Maplestreet to get himself away safely.
Even the Baron, though, it's brought the gold almost back to a manageable level, but you still don't feel like Project are going to be in the lead here. They've got so much work to do to get themselves on a level playing field, and Arcade looking to run away with it despite that Baron steal. And that's what you can see, how this game has been played, right? Even despite the Baron steal, Arcade still look positive. They still look proactive. They still look like the team that are going to win it.
That they do, but Voyboy is starting to get towards that position where he can start winning these fights.
Look at that ultimate!
LemonNation, he flashes away. Lemon is dead, and now they're going to turn. There's the kill on towards Larssen. OddOne the target, left alive, and he'll get taken down. Project start to turn it around. 9 kills to 15, and they're on their way back into this game. Kevin's caught out as well. Voyboy will take him down. Double twin bangs is enough, and Voyboy takes him out. Duskblade! It's OP. Kevin knows what he's doing with his build.
I can't believe I criticized that the other day. What a god,
well,
Kevin.
Gangplank's trying to criticize it as well, isn't he?
Good one. Anyway, honestly, I just as I was talking about Project's ability to make their way back in, Voyboy turns up with a ridiculous petrifying gauge. And actually, the most important thing is the fact that Joekerism blocked the Miasma with his spell shield. So that left it open for Voyboy. As soon as Joekerism turned to face him, 3-man ultimate, it gave a massive deal for Project to just walk in. And with the Baron buff, it's very easy for them to push up and take this Inhibitor.
Look at the timing on this trick. It's Infernal. Infernal has just come up here, and Project are looking for it. OddOne is going to see if he can Void Rush in. Actually cancels it out, I think.
No, he got, I think...
No, he was in base. I think he cancelled out his Void Rush, or did it get to...
It got destroyed.
Must have got destroyed, and the Infernal Drake will go towards Project. They equalize the gold pretty much, only 1,000 in it now.
Can you believe this?
Caëlan with the Baron steal, one of our amateurs coming up big on the league best
I
stage.
almost feel like it has been in a lot of situations about the amateurs this weekend. Like, you can see, we know the pros are brilliant. We know they've played for years at the top level, but Larssen going crazy on Rise the other day. Caëlan with 2 Baron steals today. Some of our amateurs are really performing their socks off.
2 Guardian Angels now on Project. You have to kill them twice to try and take them down. They have that reboot that they can always get as part of the project. Now, LemonNation got caught out in the last fight. He's been playing pretty well up until now. He's got that Locket of the Iron Solari along with the cooldown boots to try and get his team in and out of the fight.
So the Duskblade makes a lot of sense in the 1v1, right? And that's what Kevin is trying to do. He's obviously been just prioritizing his ability to split push here. Caëlan's got the Guardian Angel. He probably will be able to escape under turret here. We'll have to see.
LemonNation's looking for him. OddOne's there as well. There's 5 members of Arcade going to try and collapse on towards Project. 2 members in the bot lane. There aren't enough
Here
for
comes
Project
Voyboy.
alive. Voyboy's going to try and get in the side. Caëlan using that time in the Guardian's Angel.
Voyboy! Look at Voyboy go!
Flying gaze has come down. Voyboy does get Hemoplague. Larssen's going to try and turn the fight on its head. We'll have to get away from Voyboy though. Here comes Joekerism and Maplestreet in as well. And
What?
Project start to clean it up. Maplestreet takes down 2 and Larssen has no escape from them apart from the flash across the wall.
Triple
It's a
kill!
for Maplestreet.
Oh my word, what is going on with Project here? It's exactly like Friday, coming back and swinging with Voyboy.
They're going for the win. They're pushing for
They're
it. They're
going for
running.
the win! I'm sorry, my voice is just breaking right here, Sona, but I don't think they can actually take the win here. I would be super surprised, but they look like they want to make it
Well, they
happen.
pinged the inhibitor. They're looking for it. That inhibitor's not respawning just quite yet, I don't think.
No, it's got a while.
They're looking for the win. Project have 4 members left alive. They've got Caëlan coming up in 4 seconds away. And here come Arcade trying to defend. We're going to see the respawns coming out in 9 seconds. Project going for it. They've done this once before. It didn't work out well for them.
They've got a long time.
Going to push. There's the cannon barrage as well to zone out Arcade. They take down 1 Nexus turret and they're going to back away. That's wise decision making from Project not to give up their lives in this push.
They didn't really have anything else to go for, but now LemonNation and OddOne are looking to punish it.
There's a teleport in as well from Kevin on towards that backline. It's going to be very low members of Project, and Vladimir's miles away though. Larsen's not going to be able to join this one quickly. Caëlan tried to separate Kevin across from the team. Duskblade is going to proc on towards Caëlan. He tries to flash away.
Fails flash.
Manage it, and now Voyboy tries to tank them away with the Rhylizer, will slow them down for days. Can they escape? Project look like they've got out of this one scot-free. There are super minions pushing into their base though, and Arcade still wants something out of this. They're going to see if they can push down that turret. Not going to be able to get just anything really out of that. Project able to escape. It looked for a second like Arcade may have been able to turn it on its head, but at the moment it's only Project with the comebacks.
Yeah, and Baron up in 2 minutes. They actually didn't have any other objectives other than to go for the win. That was literally the only thing they had left, I think, on the board. They could have maybe pushed up for the turret in the top lane, but I guess you take the risk, right? There was 30 seconds. You said maybe if we manage to make a pick, someone makes a mistake around those Nexus turrets, then we actually end up taking the game. It's probably a worthy risk to take, but they escaped from very thin threads there, Sona. That was so close to being a complete throw and end up losing the game straight up. So they managed to get that inhibitor in the bot lane now. That's super important for Baron control because obviously having the inhibitor in bot lane down means you're consistently having lanes pushed towards your base the furthest away from the Baron, so it's always very hard to react to. I also think Dyrus' build, he's now gone Duskblade as well.
No Infinity Edge on Dyrus though.
No Infinity Edge as well. So he's gone for more of the armor penetration route, looking to do more team-wide damage to more members, whereas Kevin's obviously saying, I will crit and I will crit someone hard, and hopefully that'll be Voyboy on Maplestreet. So, I mean, all of these very minor choices could have a massive impact in this game state.
Remember when we talked about Joekerism earlier on and we said he's ahead of Maplestreet. He's got that item spike, he's ahead of him.
Yep.
Maplestreet has now got his Mortal Reminder and is ahead in itemization over Joekerism. Actually, Joekerism just finished up Lord Dominic's regards, so he will be a pretty darn even. This is such a tight matchup between these 2 teams, and it's going to come down to a knife's edge.
I really think, again, the Cassiopeia is the biggest problem here for Arcade, and it was for them on Friday in almost this exact composition. Essentially, what it is, if they don't get everything they want from the first time they engage, and their engage isn't exactly particularly good, then a Voyboy can just come in and just essentially stop them from re-engaging because of the Miasma and the Rhylize, and then just chase them down one by one with that damage output. And now they're looking potentially to set up for a Baron.
They've got the vision control. Once again, Arcade have managed to secure that vision control. Look at that. Project have no idea where Arcade
There's such thing as blue trinkets,
at the
though,
moment.
so.
There are such a thing as blue trinkets, and both of them are actually up here for Project. They're going to step forward. It's Caëlan leading the charge. There's the blue trinket. Will get swept away straight away. Dyrus puts the cannon barrage down. OddOne's looking to see if he can join the fray from the side. Will have to retreat away.
That's a big cooldown lost now, though.
Reset it is. There comes the damage coming out from LemonNation on towards Rhuckz as well. Project trying to push this wave up because they have the positional advantage with that mid lane inhibitor being low. Caëlan needs to try and burrow away. It looks like Project are pushing towards the inhibitor. This is a great position actually
nice
for Voyboy.
miasma.
Great miasma will stop Project from being able to join the fray. Larssen looking for it though. He's going to see if he can get in. He's miles away from the rest of his team, and Project know that, so they step forward towards him, make him back away, and then now they're going to try and get their vision around this Baron buff.
I think they need to wait for Dyrus' Cannon Barrage. It's not long off cooldown. Dyrus trying to get some good barrels down, but he's going to back off here with the help of the Karma Shield. So tense between these two teams. 1 foot wrong, and everything goes to waste. This could be a final team fight. Baron, ignore it. It's all about getting a win and pushing for that win.
Elder Drake's about to come up as well. Kevin's going down towards the bottom lane without his teleport.
That is big.
Do Project know that, though? Have they timed it effectively? Because these fights have been chaotic. Everyone's been barreling in. They can't know, because otherwise they'd start a fight right now.
No, they must think that there's no way Kevin would go to the bot lane without teleport. Exactly. You know, it's very difficult to time things in the heat of the moment, and they surely would think no way Kevin's gone to the bot lane without teleport, and that is a mind game in itself. Larssen might get caught out here though.
Has got the Sanguine Pool, but he'll get locked up with that Focus Resolve. Has to use the Proto Belt and Flash to try and get away. He uses the Hemo Plague as well, and the Zhonya's. Now Kevin stepping forward. Cannon Barrage is going to come down. Larssen
He's
just
not dead.
Escapes off towards the side, but Project do have the opportunity now to look towards that Baron because they know Larssen has to back away.
But it's Vladimir, you know, he can very easily sustain up. He's actually just going to back off because of how low Caëlan and Rhuckz are. There's no way Baron should be on the cards here for Project. 1 auto attack, and that could have sealed the game here for Project. One ricochet
like that
could have sealed the game. And it's actually a lot of cooldowns for Larssen gone as well.
And the Cannon Barrage once again.
How influential is that going to be? Both Cannon Barrages are down too.
This game is one of the closest games I've seen all weekend. The Project and Arcade have been at each other's throats. And Voyboy said they were going to stick to the script. Well, I don't think being equal at 40 minutes was in the script.
I don't know, mate. It's a pretty exciting scenario to be in. If you were going to script it, I would script it this way.
Dyrus takes a little bit of pain there from the auto attacks coming out from Joekerism. That Boomerang Blade doing work as well. 200 gold the difference between Project and Arcade, and 10,000 gold is on the line for both these teams. Going to see who secures that prize pool and gets to name themselves champions of the League Fest.
This could be massive, by the way. Double GA, Caëlan and Voyboy.
Huge.
That's pretty big when it comes to a teamfight situation.
The fact that no one on Arcade has got a Guardian's Angel as well is absolutely massive. Voyboy and Caëlan will be able to come back into the fight. It means that Arcade need to clean up the rest of the
they're going for it!
Kevin's up towards the side. Voyboy looking for the fight. Kevin has tried to flash away. The Cannon Barrage comes in, but Larssen's on the back line. What can Larssen do there? Voyboy and Kevin are fighting up in the 1v1. Joekerism
gets the kill!
Voyboy kills Kevin. LemonNation now has to try and join his team.
This could be the win! Joekerism
just about surviving. TheOddOne there as well. LemonNation off towards the side.
This is it!
Down by Dyrus, and Project are looking for the win. Larssen, what can he do in a 1v4?
Oh, the rush of Burrow!
Dyrus gets the double kill. Maple takes him down as well. 4 members of Arcade are dead, and Project have one Nexus Tower between them and claiming a momentous win here at League Fest. It's day 3, it's the final game, it's blind pick, and Joekerism trying to keep his team alive, but he cannot do it. Project will take the win, Project will take the prize, and Project will take first place.
What a game. Unbelievable scenes in that turnaround from Project. Again, it's just that Cassiopeia once more, able to just control these team fights. Again, if you don't get everything that you want there from Arcade, Voyboy just turns around and punishes you for it. But what a call at the end there, to go straight in. Voyboy 1 versus 2s for the kill on Kevin, but come on, give it up, guys. This is Project, and they turned around the biggest point disadvantage we thought we would see. And Voyboy told me last night he was going to do it, and Voyboy did it. Well done, Team Project. Oh, we're here. I was too busy looking at the guys on the screen. What a brilliant, momentous occasion for these guys. That's a big prize pool they take away. This is the only way they could have done it. The only way they could have come back and claimed the win, and it's a win by 2 points.
2 points is all that's in it, and you've seen enough of us, guys. Let's hand it over to Mitch and to the victorious Team Project on the League Fest stage.
What a game, ladies and gentlemen. And now that the pleasantries are out of the way, it is my distinct pleasure and pride to present to you our inaugural League Fest Pro-Am champions, Team Project! Take your trophy, gents. Gentlemen, congratulations. Dyrus, a huge comeback from you guys. It was a little bit of an uphill battle from the start of today. Go into the blind pick. I spoke to Rhuckz earlier on. He said, we're going to have a bunch of mirror matches here. This is fairly expected. Do you think that's where you won out in the differences there as well? Rhuckz did say you felt that you were sort of more individual skilled, pound for pound, as it were. Would you agree with that statement?
Well, for a lot of the games, Kevin outperformed me. But as for the other roles, I don't know, it was really close. Like, coming into this, we were like, oh, wow, our team's so stacked. But, you know, they did way better than we thought. And it became a battle of who made less mistakes. And we just came out ahead.
So give us an idea of where you were at those about 40 minutes into the game. You're doing a Baron dance for about 5 minutes or so there. What are you guys looking for? Are you looking for an opening? Are you waiting for Arcade to make a mistake? Or are you looking for an opportunity to start a fight in general?
All the fights are dictated by Sivir, Karma, and GP. And Voy was looking for like those solo picks and peeling, while Vlad is looking for all the dives. And it's easier to kite than to run on GP. So we had like a slight advantage in comp, in my opinion, for Cassio. I threw out a lot of random ults because I was looking for like the AoE ult to see if I could get any chunks on barrels. But even if my ult's down, you just kind of peel and wait, and you know, it's whatever team plays better in the team played.
Well, fantastic showing from you guys again. It's been so good to have you guys here. Thank you so much for coming down to Insomnia as well. And thank you to the Team Arcade guys as well. It's been some fantastic games. Went all the way to the end. You couldn't write a better story. So guys, put your hands together again for both Team Project and Team Arcade. Some fantastic League of Legends here on the stage.